Mind anymore when it comes to your clock.
Yeah,
that's kind of exciting news.
Math is hard. A bill
really
passed by the Maine House would put Maine on Atlantic Standard Time year-round. Now, it still has ways to go. It's got to pass a vote in the Senate, but of course this is politics, so it's not as simple as just that.
Massachusetts and New Hampshire would also have to enact the law in order for it to pass here. The New Hampshire House already approved the switch, and a commission in Massachusetts is studying the issue. If all three states do switch over, U.S. Department of Transportation would still have to approve it. Right now, Maine is one of 17 states that uses Eastern Standard Time during the winter and Eastern Daylight Time during the summer. Switching to Atlantic Standard Time means in December, the sun would rise around 8 a.m. and set around 5 p.m. For some perspective, the earliest sunset this winter was at 4:04 p.m.
Now, by the way, the bill is sponsored by both Democrats and Republicans, and one of the main points of the bill's sponsor is that there are health benefits in keeping the clocks the same year-round, specifically that it's more natural for our sleep patterns to just stay on the same cycle.
Right. So, Marty, you spoke with a psychologist today, and what did he have to say about this?
Well, that makes sense, right? That if we're kind of on the same thing, because light is so important. I talked to Dr. Jeffrey Barkin. He said the single most important stimulus to mammals is light. Okay, so that regulates a lot of our systems, our brain, our hormones. Light wakes up our brains. Now, he treats a lot of folks who have depression. In the winter, that depression can get worse because there is less light. He says, interestingly, this time change would actually not be great for those folks because morning light is more important than afternoon light.
Oh.
Which is something I didn't know until I spoke with him. But also what he said is that can be treated, okay? There's light boxes, there's light therapy, so those folks can be treated with light therapy. For the vast majority of people, he sees this time switch as not having a really big impact health-wise either way, but a lot of people do like the idea of having an extra hour of sunlight in the afternoon, especially in the winter.
Well, and just that medical perspective is something that you don't usually think about. So it's like, well, I either sleep later or I sleep earlier or I have to come home earlier, but the medical part of it is a side that we haven't really looked a lot into, so that's interesting.
Right. Well, it certainly has been a hot button issue whenever it comes up, and as usual, a lot of you had a lot to say about this. Melissa says that would work as long as all of New England does it too, as I work out of state. Again, the bill will only pass if Massachusetts and New Hampshire get on board as well.
Joseph, not a fan. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Why change after all these years? It will still be dark at 5 in December. This is a stupid idea. Victoria, though, likes the idea, says she's a mom and she hates messing up her kids' sleep schedules twice a year because it's a pain. I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I get that. Sarah made a point that we saw a lot of you making. She says there are more important issues to worry about, like climate change, the threat of war, school funding, the drug epidemic, than changing the time. Leave the time alone and focus on more important issues.